I'm an Air Force veteran. Yes, sir.
And you have been working with Dave and the Courage Foundation. Beautiful. So we have both one of the coaches, David, and
Mhm.
one of the veterans. What an honor. I felt that this birthday it's the birthday that's the peak of my life. Instead of it being another one, people sometimes say, oh, another birthday. After a certain age, they feel getting older means um, something worse, another step closer to the grave. But what I have found in my life is in the last few years, my life got more and more bright, more myself, and I actually feel I'm at the best point in my life. And so I wanted to celebrate and portray it to some people who are interested. Uh, no artist wants to just look at his own pictures. He wants to share it in any art. And I think every human being, it's just that artists are known to self-express. And so instead of it just being my celebration, I wanted it to be more meaningful. And knowing David and the Courage Foundation, I thought what happened to me is what the Courage Foundation intends to do for veterans. And so I want to express my story as a segue into something worthy where we will actually raise some money for such a worthy cause. And this is not uh, a stand up comedy show, it is not a magic show. It is all of us together creating an energy. And I will now explain. Cave walls in the south of France that were discovered with all these paintings, and people want to know who painted them. Was it a fake? And it happens to be actually some they paleontologists and anthropologists. They said these are the paintings of cavemen. And so let me now with you re-enter the cave. Imagine we're all sitting there, cave people, around a fire, and in those days there were no artists. There were some people, though, who are particularly the ones who dabbled in pictures, and they were more like uh, shamans. They were because there's no such profession then as artists, but the person who could paint naturally was seen as a person who is the channel of the spirits. Everything had spirits, and so you have spirits, and we are going to connect with spirits, and I'm going to reenact what it would be like to be in the cave. And why is this relevant? Because we in civilization have lost our connection to ourselves, to our primitive selves. Uh, Primitive man was, for him, everything was spiritual. For us, we're looking to see if anything's spiritual. And so when an animal, when a human being is so close every second to being eaten or starving, and every birth is a bloody mess that might kill the woman or the baby, and all of life is so immediate, urgent. So people naturally they live with urgency. And so here is the way a shaman, uh, a caveman spiritual leader, what he would do and how those paintings came to be. So, in order to be a shaman, what you have to do is you are, well, what did they do then? They hunted animals, right? The animals eat them, and sometimes they eat the animals. And so, what we are doing is he would cover himself with one of the animal skins that he had killed. You see, you've got to go around. You've got to go around wrapped in a skin of an animal because it was once alive. And so you are taking in the spirit of that animal you killed. And then you have to have also some sort of headdress of an animal you killed. So, listen, you take what you can get, folks. So, what were they painting back then? They were painting, they would paint an animal. It was, it wasn't Da Vinci, it was cavemen, yes? And they would paint an animal, and here they would be the people, the hunters, and they would show the arrows that they had. You know, sometimes it gets hot around the campfire, so even us professionals, we kind of. So they would show the arrows, and then they show an arrow that was in the animal. But the cavemen only had a few colors, all from the earth that they'd mix with their blood or animal fat. So these arrows, when they hit the animal, you know, when the animal gets hit with an arrow, you know what happens. So why the paleontologists ask, why did these cavemen make such a picture of an animal and you shoot arrows into it? Two reasons. One is called sympathetic, and the other one is called empathetic. Sympathetic means not like, oh, I feel for the animal. No, it is, we are hoping before we hunt that if we paint this picture, especially if our local artist, shaman, paints the picture, and we all have intention that when we go out to hunt, we will kill the animal. You get it? You get it? It's something that we do before we actually go out there. And our intention is, if we really give ourselves an intention, that that's what's going to happen. Remind you of something, Dreamliner? So, but this is not just magic like, we'll do it and we hope. No, this is dependent on our intention. If we, all of us here, have the same intention, that as the artist paints it, that it will happen. Oh, the artist is just the conduit through which the energy flows. But the intention has to be there. If everyone is just, who cares? It's not going to work. Okay? So today, what we're doing is an intention that the story that I tell will activate healing for the veterans in the same way that I, in my life, succeeded in healing my wound. With me? Klaus, you can nod. It's allowed. It's allowed. You can nod. All right.
Maybe Nitsan.
Good man. Now, the other thing is, I said sympathetic and empathetic. So now, what do I mean by empathetic? Another reason why these cavemen made their drawings is that they asked forgiveness from the animal. They felt for the animal that they had killed. And so, because they were so animal themselves, they were being hunted while they hunted. And they felt for the animal. And so they paint the animal as if a connection and a prayer. So we will do the same. We will pray or intend, use the words you prefer, that not only will this help, but I feel every time I know or connect with a veteran who has been wounded, I ask forgiveness. I feel that someone has borne the weight, the impact, the wound for me. And I ask whatever that word is for you, if it's not forgiveness. Okay, are we together on this? Beautiful. I'm with you. So, one other thing that we see all the time with cavemen is that there's this thing they do with their hands. What do they do with their hands? Anyone know? There are no experts here on caveman drawings? What a surprise.
They make handprints.
Wow, Dreamliner, you all right?
Jeez, bonus.
Huh.
There
Just
you
like
go.
I would do.
You
Yeah.
can find so many hands, sometimes lots of hands in the same place. And their only colors were red, black, white, yellow. So, have we gone back into the cave? The answer is yes. Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, listen, don't go muting yourselves. We're in the same cave. I want to hear some voices. Farnak, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Dreamliner, you're also. What's with you people? This is your opportunity. What are you listening to the news at the same time? Just, giving me
No, it just,
All
there's
right.
sometimes you get reverberation.
So, this is the cave that is now in our hearts. And anyone who wants this, contact me later. We'll negotiate a fee. Have a cave in your own home. So now I want to present my story, which is, so in my history, first let me describe myself as a child. In a child's world. Have you ever gone to a kindergarten? And they're sitting there, the kids are sitting there with these colored papers, and they're given chalk, and they don't paint things. They paint energy. I find it more artistic than going to a gallery. They don't have any, whatever comes out of the stomach, that's what they do. You don't know what it is, but you can't even see it from there, can you?
We can see it.
Yeah? All right.
Oh, yeah. It's yellow.
Well, I'll tell this kid to be a little more emphatic.
Put some energy into it, Nitsan.
A child is not limited to things. A child just is so joyous, even if it's given the same color as a caveman. It has its self-expression is not from the mind. Its self-expression comes from their whole body. it's just a beautiful thing to watch. It's what we get to see is as their arms become more and more adept. So they go into maybe new kinds of motion that fascinate them because that's what they can do now. And so I had a beautiful childhood, and I just, everything for me was just a huge experiment. I didn't really care about the composition because life was moment by moment. Everything is moment by moment. There's no past, there's no future. Just whatever's going on. Let's try it with a little water, you know? That is a painting. However, to our great surprise and unhappiness, we don't stay that age. And so what happens then is this beautiful world that we had, at some point, you know, if we have this sense as a child that we are actually we take up our own little world. What happens in that is we get a sense of time, and with time, what happens is that there's a beginning, middle, end, and so time has a process. It's going, and things are measured. Now I'm measured. Measured against what? And so what happens at one moment in my life is suddenly my beautiful childhood ended, and my heart unfortunately, it was wounded, and I had this wound in my heart. And the problem with the wound in the heart, instead of having a life of many colors, it seemed that all I got was more of this. Have you ever felt that yourself? That something in your past seems to take over. So at that point, what was I going to do? And so if I take my lifeline, if I make a, if I draw my life, and all the colors are life, and red is we're never disturbed by these things. My life has so many. See, the question is, if there's something happening that I didn't want, what am I going to do? Should I get upset? No, we'll solve it.
Easy day, Nitsan. Easy day.
So
Oh, yeah.
what happens is this timeline. What happens is that I find that my whole life is defined by this moment, and things just go downhill. I wish I could rise up, but things get contained by that one wound. See, this is very symbolic. I'm trying to paint, and the wall and the canvas are working against me. And it even repeats. And that's the whole point. If you notice, it's the wound that just did that. Did you notice? The kid started with the wound. And so when that kind of thing happens, it makes it very clear that, see, what if my whole life were just, hey, let me paint. No, there are these things that are stopping me, but that's okay. What I want to show you is that my life was down here. I can even take from there. My life was down there, and I couldn't escape down there. I was trapped inside that. And how to escape? I found a way to escape. Even though all this time, if I take this as my whole life, well, you see, this was trying to get me, and because I'm now a little bit aware, stopped it. Because I wanted to, this whole time, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. See, but that came, what if I actually planned it? What if I relate to this as perfect instead of, oh my God, these people are losing, I'm losing them. So far, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, if ever I'm too slow and I'm bored, you just shout out, okay?
Yeah, we'll let you know.
All right. So what I want to say is that this painting was my life, but at the very, if this is my life from age 5 to age 65, 70. No, to 68, to age 68. And then things got better. Why? They got better because I found a group of people who are training to overcome. And I could, by slow progress, get better and better with them and learn to overcome. Now, this is a day about courage. So, have you heard of a guy named Simon Sinek?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he says courage is not something you can just take out like that. It's not inside you and you just go deep and you find it. It comes from without. When you have someone who believes in you and he says, I'm going to stay with you and I believe in you, then you have courage. If you're just by yourself, you had to have that courage put in you by someone, perhaps a role model or a mentor or an experience that was very deep, but you need it. You're nodding, Cynthia. Are we hitting something? Hitting a nerve? So I needed to find a community of people who don't give up and aren't fake. And to feel that I'm in a community of people who face the challenge of being alive without escaping or posing. And so I worked with that for 5 years. You know, the Grand Canyon was created by just this one little river. It took, they say, 70 million years, but that river, why did the Grand Canyon get created? Because there's a 2-mile drop. There's a 2-mile drop. That river wants to reach the sea, and it has to cut through all that and create this huge canyon. Well, I feel like that river. It took me 70 million years, but I finally did reach the sea because I had a huge desire and I didn't give up. Now, why is this the best birthday of my life? Because I I didn't heal my wound like you bake a bun or you cook a chicken or it was slow. And at some point, I am now going to express to you in 3 different canvases how the 3 parts of the process. So, this was. What's the first issue of courage, do you think, if a person feels lost? What's the first step? This is a group caveman experience, people. What's the first step?
Probably
I'd say recognizing that you're lost.
That's very good. That is very good. What else?
Moving forward in the face of fear or loss or not feeling like you know where you are.
Yeah.
Because courage isn't the absence of fear or lostness. It is the ability to move forward in it.
Awareness
One of
and
those
fear.
answers is true.
Mhm.
Finding someone who believes in you.
Whoa. Okay. And if I find someone who believes in me, what about me? Is it automatic?
No,
No.
it takes time.
What's the first act of courage for a person who needs help?
To reach out and get some help.
Yes. It turns out that it takes courage to ask for help. Agreed? Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
It's so hard to admit, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. So what are we going to do with this picture? What should we do with that? Okay, listen. You're not expected to know what to do with a mess like that. That's not fair.
Accept the mess.
What do you say?
Accept that it's
Accept
messy.
it. Whoa. Very good. Very good. Accept the mess. Accept the mess. Maybe our first attempt at asking for help was half-hearted. So, that better?
Oh yeah.
If a person says clearly, I need help, not hi, and then waiting for the other person, you need help? See, if you really reach out, then someone can say yes. So, my first step of courage was willing to be vulnerable and admit I'm suffering. And I sought a community, and people there gave me support, not because they support anyone who comes in. Isn't that beautiful? Not like, oh, I'm so special now, someone's going to help me. No. Isn't it beautiful that there are communities where people are naturally training one another to have that courage. Cynthia, you're nodding. I love it. So, in this picture, what we're showing is that when we take that first step, as a matter of fact, let's really give it some gusto, huh? Just that one act begins a process. So, in my case, the fact that I was willing to be the worst person in my eyes. When I began, I thought everyone else is doing better than I am. And it takes a willingness to be in that situation and then grow. So that was the courage. That was the courage. Is that clear? Should we add anything else?
You know what? How about this, Nitsan?
Yeah.
When you reached out, someone reached towards you. So how about a
Whoa!
hand reaching to you?
I love it. I love it. That was you, Cynthia?
Nice choice.
Joyce, I don't see you.
Well, I don't have my video on.
Okay. So, but I thought it was you, but
It was me.
don't you realize you're a contribution? Why am I to this day, after so many years, I still remember you
I know.
and I send you stuff and I invited you here because this Joyce, she stood up in an event and she described how she approached someone and says, I need X dollars to do something. And if you love me, this is what you can do for me. Right?
Mhm.
Or what? Word it differently if I'm off.
Oh, it's pretty close. It's called, what is it, the request? I forgot the name. The unreasonable request.
Yes.
So I just asked for an unreasonable request.
And that moment inspired me maybe more than any other, that in that event, the way the energy and cleanliness of just saying, this is my respect. This is my request. It's just amazing when a person gives a clear request and not hesitating and not shamed. Shame's a big thing, isn't it? We all
It's
think
bullshit.
we should walk around with shame, and then to be unashamed and say, this is my request. And that's this hand. And because who suggested that we should have another hand?
Me, Joyce.
So good. You're so good. It's so artistic. I'm not even sure what it says. Silver. Beautiful. All right. Excellent, excellent work, friends. Excellent work. Okay. What's the title?
Progress.
Who said that?
Lee did.
Lee.
No,
Progress?
Dave said it. Dave said it.
Dave said it.
But I agree with him. I agree with him.
Progress? I'll offer something else and we'll vote. How about
I would say going forward.
going forward? Yeah. Another way of progress.
The courage to reach out.
There we go.
Yeah.
Would you agree that that is what was intended here? I agree. And I hold the brush. Or to ask for help. All right. We did one. The second one was about something I learned when I'm going back to my wound. Because the problem of this whole thing is when you go back to your wound, it hurts. Doesn't it? Does it help to keep going back to your wound and analyze it and hope that you can heal it? I found that constantly going back to the wound and trying to heal it, maybe there are all these techniques that are supposed to help the primal scream.
And I love, Nitsan, how you're pointing out your pain point of the wound in the childhood that actually stays over time with you, and how absolute the so practically in my case I also made it pervasive, so it encompassed my whole life. And yeah, and the courage that you showed to reach out. I love the description that you've wrote.
Well, thank you. And Cynthia, are we touching some of the points that are at work in working with veterans?
Oh my goodness, yes. And the one thing that really stood out to me is the veterans that have been hurt so bad that they're no longer brave enough to reach out. And when there's someone that recognizes that and they reach out anyway to that veteran, it's huge
Yeah,
because they learn to be loved and accepted again.
yeah. That's pretty important, isn't it? So, in this brilliant abstraction, what we see is the problem of the red hurt constantly reappearing. And if I want to see a better future, that's the project here. Okay, you're hurting. Let's see a better future. Well, if you see you're going towards something, you can have strength to move forward, to persevere. But I found every time I thought, well, what am I going towards? I have ideas, but they don't create the energy that I need because the red is too dominant. And I developed something which is my mind is imprisoned by my past. So how can I escape that? And I developed a thought process, which is take my negative thoughts. I am imprisoned by the negative thoughts that come out of my wound. And also what I was told. The wound is because my loving father was abusive. And he was my hero, so I internalized it. And that's the voice that I keep hearing. And I'm not good enough. I'm not getting there. Oh, wolf. And that just suffocates me. Do you think it's the Museum of Modern Art? My dear sister, I'm honored that you call me, but right now I'm in the middle of describing my life to worthy people. And so I will have to say goodbye. So how beautiful that she called. She probably called to say she couldn't arrive without thinking that right now I'm in the middle. And that's so human. I want to call him when he's there. So what I developed for myself is this flip that every time I have a negative thought, I flip it. So I'm not good enough. That girl's going to go somewhere. She's persisting. Isn't that beautiful? So if I have a thought, I'm not good enough, or I'm not making it, or I'm not as good as anybody else, or I'll never get out of this. What if I flip that? Now, my mind naturally didn't go that way. But naturally was you just keep repeating that thing. You're not good enough. It's not working. There's proof. Look at that. But what if I just arbitrarily flip it in my mind? I'm not good enough. What if I flip it into, boy, I'm really great at this. Or I'm really moving forward. Or this situation is exactly what I need instead of it's a terrible thing. You know, like those when the canvas fell, I didn't have any prepared statement or anything, but I just thought it is something that has happened to me out of repetition of this exercise of flipping it. Because my first impulse is, oh, right in front of everybody. And I flipped that immediately. And this is exactly what I needed to emphasize my point. It's perfect. So using this one new way of thinking, everything in my life that was no, 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 whoop, I flipped it to yes. So I went from a life of no, 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 I'm not there, I'm not there, I'm not getting there, it's never going to happen. I flipped it to, whoa, this is perfect. Whoa, we're moving. Whoa, it couldn't be better. Now, I agree. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen so perfectly that it erases everything. But I'll tell you, having a life of so much yes, 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 yes is so much better than no, never, never, no. What do you say, Cynthia? Isn't that true?
Totally agree.
So this is how we change. If we can change the whole no to yes, we can actually transform all that red it's a different life. What shall we call this painting? I didn't hear it.
Hope. HOPE.
Hope. Let's have some more. Come on. You are thinking people. Homo sapiens sapiens. Not Homo sapiens silent, never daring to open a mouth. Yeah.
Adoption.
When you integrate pain as part of your life, you don't suppress it anymore, then you create energy out of it and you try to make a purpose out of your pain.
Yes. Yes.
I will suggest something.
Please.
Nitsan. I know this may sound strange, but I think of the word choice
Mm.
because you have to choose this. And once you've chosen it, that's a present thing. That's not a past. It's not a future. It's now. A choice is made now. It's never made in the future. It causes regret from the past, but a choice right now brings the light. That's what I think.
We have one more. Thank you, Lee. Choice.
I think adaption or recovery or persistence, any of those three. Choice. I like the choice because you have to make a choice. You can
Chris?
choose to go down the left or right, which way you're going to go.
Klaus likes choice. Jürgen, what do you say?
May I suggest meaning?
Meaning?
Because the meaning was changed from it. The problems that are there, the pain is negative, and you flipped it to that's exactly what I need to move forward.
Yes. Well, considering that I hold the brush, I appreciate all of these suggestions, and there is no right answer. However, whoever holds the brush gets to write. So let's call this Blue. Let's take this blue.
Mm-hmm.
Will
Yes.
that contain everything? Will we agree, or we can now fight about it? All right. There is our second painting. I'm just waiting for the Museum of Modern Art to call me any second. All right. Now the third thing that I discovered, which, listen, I mean, I've learned to like myself, so I'm going to call it profound. I hope you don't mind if I give myself a little compliment there. There it is, all that red. And the third thing that I discovered was going back to the wound, going into the past. You can stay there forever and try to heal it, and it's never getting better enough. And the more I go into the past, the more I'm stuck. And if I try to go into the future, it doesn't work until it doesn't stick until if we've gone to the past and now we've tried the future, what is left?
The present.
Whoa! I tell you, Wolf, you saved the day. All these people are hesitant. Do you really think that it's a mistake what you're going to say? If I let my canvas fall, you guys can say something that sounds, just shout it out. This is the present. What I discovered is the key to it all is to be present now. No past, no future. How can I be present in this second, this moment? And if I can stop focusing on the past and the future, which is just a recast of the past, what if I just focus on right now? Like I got a glove on and it sticks, or I'm looking at you people and how can I just focus on the present? And then I'm liberated from that wound. I'm going to count to 3, and then everybody has to give me a solution. The way to control the mind is through the breath. It's so available and simple. And so now let's do it together. I'm going to demonstrate, and all of us will participate like cavemen in the cave, following the guy painting on the wall. All right? I will demonstrate. Just relaxing the body, preparing with an intention. My intention is that I elevate out of the world of survival, pressure, wounds. How can I elevate out into an energy, just a pure energy? That's my intention. I want to elevate out of that, all those feelings, into just some purity that's so pure that when I come back down, it's like when you brush your teeth and you inhale afterwards and you feel that mint. You go up and as we breathe in, we are breathing in that purifying energy, and we're hovering while we hold our breath. And then when we come back down, now we have something with which to face reality. And you know what? What's great about breathing? We don't have to do it once. It's a pump. We can go up and down and up and down and up and down. Was anyone insulted by what I just said? Good.
No, not at all.
Okay. Just wanted to check, you never know. Sometimes I just say something and someone's triggered. So when I say I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, and then everyone take a deep breath in and hover. Set your intention beforehand. Ready? Close your eyes. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Elevate. Hover. And let go. What did it do for you? I want to hear.
Help me center.
I want to say,
feel real calm.
what do you say?
Helped me feel really calm. When I
Calm.
got to the bottom, I was calm.
Calm. Wow, that's fast.
Like I was
just-
floating.
You were floating. Nice. Nice. I got to say, I needed more. One wasn't enough. Who's talking?
It's an echo, just repeating your voice.
Farnak, you raised your hand. You're so polite. Just, attack.
I just had one thought. Presence.
Present. Beautiful. Well, it's one of the most difficult things in my life is to be present. And so this isn't something that one and done. This is something that. Now, how does it take courage to be present?
Because you have to let go of what's familiar, and sometimes it's pain that's familiar.
That is so true. That is so true. May I add to that, Mr. David?
Of course.
It's about the story we tell ourselves. We all are walking around with a story. And for my life, it was how I couldn't get beyond my wound. Poor me. But it's only a story. Yeah, but all those people who say, change your story, change your life. Yeah, try it. Just like that. Change your story. Big man. I did not succeed in changing my story for 50, 60 years. But in a moment of elevation, then you don't need a story. There's no story. You get to actually purify out of your story for a moment. And when you do it for a moment, that's a moment you never had when your life was all about the wound. Where's Cynthia? Just when I need her. Oh, yeah. Okay, Cynthia, isn't that true? That if you can't
Yes.
escape the wound ever, then there's nothing else. But if you can find a way to at least for a moment escape the wound, everything changes. Yes?
It does. Yes,
So the
it does.
moment you can escape for a moment, then it's a new universe. There's a new color in the universe, in the mind. And then I can actually see my future in a way. I allow myself to create a future that beforehand I couldn't have, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't change my story. All right. So it's the courage to let go of your story. So what should we add? Do we need to add anything here? Or is it so beautiful and artistic and I'm just a genius work? What can we do here? Let's see if this is, the problem is that it's not as, ooh, it's good. That's good. I'll tell you what we'll do. Just because I like you people. We're going to do something. This is the hand that changed the story. After all, Cavemen love hands, right? And I've got another one after this. Problem is there that red is still there. And so we will not tolerate it, will we? It's a new hand. It's a new story. Did I get the right number of fingers? Mickey Mouse only has 4. What do you think? Oh, give me your honest opinion, Nitsan. That is not art. Just, you can fool around with it, but is that art? All right.
I like the addition. I like the addition.
That's good. I need some people who say, yeah, it's expressive art. All right. What shall we name this? Do we have a name?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Presence or be present.
Be present. Freedom or presence?
Reach.
Reach.
Yeah. You're reaching for your future.
That's good.
Staying present.
Bob, you just, you're sitting there with your mountain and you're not throwing any ideas.
Well, something that's been coming up for me listening to this is context shift.
Context shift. Yeah.
Shifting your context. I mean, anyway,
Evolution.
you asked, that's what I got.
That's beautiful. As Bob Monroe, it's beautiful. All right. I would say it's between freedom and presence. I have a solution. Seeing as people are so polite here. There we go. Got freedom and presence. Sometimes you don't even have to decide, just take both. So my father would answer anyone, would you like cake or ice cream? Put them both on the plate. What do I have to decide for? All right, people. Now we begin. Let's have a statement of up until now. What's the big whatever? Or the 3 big whatevers, or whatever. Let's begin with you, Cynthia.
The discovery of new purpose.
Beautiful. That's not about the picture. I'm talking about this whole process together. Discovery of new purpose.
The
Wow,
discovery of new purpose. Yes. New life.
that's meaningful. Bob, do you have anything to say?
No, I'm sticking with I'm hearing context all through this whole thing, shifting in context,
It's beautiful. Listen,
higher context. Yeah,
there's no right answer.
yeah, I know.
There's no right answer. That was perfect. Lee, what about you?
The word that comes up in my mind is poised, which means it's neither past or future. It's just ready. Ready. I'm not trying to make anything other than what I want to happen. So I'm poised to write a new chapter.
Lovely. Dreamliner?
Never too late.
Woo.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Booyah.
When I finished this process, when I got divorced, it was the biggest failure in my life. And I felt facing the rest of my life at 68, having failed at the biggest thing that I thought was most important for me, I said, We divorced in 2020. I'm going to call myself 20. I got my whole life ahead of me. And that way, I really felt liberated to invest in a new life. Second chance. So, I will not squeeze you like a lemon, but we have some space now for anyone else who wants to put into the space another idea that is coming up for you.
I think one for me is that the story, the details of it may be a little different for each of us, but the concept of the story you just told is familiar for me, and maybe others as well. And so the pictures themselves, which are beautiful abstract art, still relate to, I recognize them as familiar to my life. So it's interesting.
Well, that's my.
And I'll be honest. I'll be honest. At the beginning, I wasn't quite sure where you're going with it, but you did pull it all back together. So I'm impressed how you did that. It was good.
Thank you. It was my intention that it all comes together, and it's
Okay,
my.
I got another one.
What do you say?
I got another one.
Yeah.
Common humanity.
Say it again.
The whole concept of common humanity.
Yes. I'm
not the only one.
Absolutely. And let me take that into a step in the right direction for me, because this is about the Courage Foundation. As I went through my life and I felt maybe I'm the only one, in comparison to people who have gone through serious trauma, at some point in my life, I thought, Nitsan, almost everybody has that same issue that you had. And in comparison to real trauma, stop crying. And so what I have is a parallel in I did trauma light in comparison to the people who have gone through the kinds that the Courage Foundation deals with. And so if I magnify my story, or if my story fits as a model, now let us do something big league for a worthy cause and auction off these paintings. Are you ready?
Ready.
Now understand, this is not whoever gives the most, that's not what's defining anybody here. But if you offer what you can, and whoever wins wins, and as long as we're together, we all win. All right, we begin with this painting called Presence and Freedom. Bidding begins at $39. Why? 39 people signed the Declaration of Independence.
I'll bid $39 for it.
I go 50.
50. Do I hear 59? That's the number of cannons that General Knox brought down from Saratoga so we could bombard the British. Do I hear 59?
I'll go 60.
60. Beautiful. 70 was the number of chests of tea that were thrown overboard in the Boston Tea Party. Do I hear 70?
I'll do 70, Nitsan.
Good man. 70. All right. Can we go up to 116? 116, which are the number of people dressed as Indians who threw out all those chests of tea in the Boston Tea Party. 160. Do I hear 160? So, next painting, one of a series done in a cave. Yes, in which there is a victory of the positivity over the negative. It erased the redness of the wound. Bidding begins.
I have a question. Wolf has a question.
Wolf, yes.
I'm going to bid 75.
Well, 75. That's even 5 more than the 70 people who stood and faced the British at Lexington. So good for you. 75. 75. Sold to Wolf. Good man.
And one more thing, and I love that picture. I want you to not send it to me. Send it to the person that had the last bid before me.
So you're going to pay,
Right?
and you'll
Had
send
it,
it to the
right?
person who's the last. Oh my gosh. Generosity at work.
Thank you, Wolf.
Wow. All right. And for our final, all right, let's have some voting here. You want it like this? Or like this?
Yes.
Like this?
Yeah.
No, this is not yours, Cloud, but just you realize, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we want it like this? Okay. Bidding begins at $39, being the number of what? Educational. What is 39?
Delegates.
Ah, Klaus, you're a genius. All right. Do I have to buy it myself? 39.
I'll do 40. I'll do 40.
40, which is one more than the number of delegates.
I got to do even things. I can't do all goofy numbers.
Yeah, there are people like that. Yes. Some have superstitions about even numbers. All right, we have 40 for Dreamliner. Do I hear 59? The number of cannons that General Knox brought down after the Battle of Saratoga when he defeated Gentleman Johnny Burgoyne. I tell you, 59 cannons. Who here is a real caliber, man? Who can blast walls down because he's such a cannon? Dreamliner did 59. Whoa! How explosive. Well, I tell you, that jump from 40 to 59.
Impressive
You're gonna
bid
change
against your.
You're going to change the value of housing out there in the West. Sold to the lady in the vest. Beautiful. Dreamliner.
What would you tell a veteran that was struggling with why they should participate with the Courage Foundation and be part of our group, part of the training, part of the community?
I would say it's nothing like anything you've come against, you've come across before. Um, I know speaking for myself, when you go to ask for help, a lot of times it's hard because you don't think they're going to believe you, you don't believe it yourself, you don't want to admit you got a problem, and sometimes people don't believe you. And the Courage Foundation restores your dignity, and it restores the belief that you had in yourself and the reason you signed on the dotted line in the first place. And I would say that it's a chance to begin again and to not be focused on the past anymore and to have a reason for living. And that's what I would say.
What's one thing that has been really helpful for you in terms of like the people, the techniques, or anything like that? Like, what's one thing that kind of jumps out at you?
the whole atmosphere of learning, you don't just hear a few catchphrases and at a girl and pat on the back and told to have a nice life now. You're actually taught how to move forward, the breathing exercises, the all of the different things that Commander Divine talks about, the Courage Foundation implements. And it's a whole bunch of stuff that you just really never came across before. And it's not, and you get a whole new tribe, you get a whole new feeling of purpose and belonging. And that's one thing that military is, camaraderie. And when you don't have that anymore, you feel lost. And so when you get into the Courage Foundation and you regain that trust and you regain your friends and your tribe and your purpose, and you realize that you're not the only one that feels the way you do about things, and the passion that you rediscover just makes life good again.
Yeah, our the Courage Foundation, we try to really help or provide an environment where people can come and go as they need to, as they want to, and it's really interesting how the support isn't just from like coaches, it's from the people within the program themselves too. So a lot of the veterans helping each other, being supportive to go get advanced treatment or something if they need it, or medical care or whatever it is, or even just showing up just to hang out. It's the people within the group that do the bulk of the lifting now. There's so many people in it that's the cool part. It's not like coaches, it's really the people. So really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah. And nobody like makes you feel like you're less of a person. And sometimes you get a lot better, but when you have moments when when you do kind of fall, there's no shame or embarrassment in it. You can reach out and say, hey, I'm not feeling so good again. And it kind of helps you to get out of that, do the whole worm process and realize, okay, we're good. And it's so funny because the more you practice it, the less you fall into it, and it's just always nice to know that there's somebody that's going to be there to keep going. You know what? You got this. We got you. Easy day.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nitsan. Thanks everybody for coming on tonight and donating and sharing your time. And Nitsan contacted me a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I got this idea," and I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And here we are. And so thank you, Nitsan, and happy birthday, happy rebirth day. So you're 5 years old now, so that's good.
25. Yeah. Yeah. It's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah,
I can say it's the best time of my life
yeah,
because I'm not stuck and hurting and not enough. And I have in front of me a future where every day it just gets better. I feel more of myself. I feel I can face my life, the uncertainty, the challenges, and instead of it being a suffering, it's an adventure.
I love where you did the live message with the when the pitcher fell down. That was a great example of how your mind works and where your heart's at.
Oh, yes,
Beautiful.
that was awesome.
Yeah, it shows that growth is an arc, not a single moment, right?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Happy
thank you.
birthday.
Okay,
See
all the
everybody.
best.
Thank you, Nitsan.